Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the Penny Bloom podcast. And you are back for Rebellion's Bloom, where we will continue our coverage of the third and final season of The Bad Batch. This week is the double episode release they did on Wednesday, this past Wednesday. Episodes 6 and 7, titled Infiltration and Extraction. I couldn't remember Infiltration. My mind got so stuck on Extraction that I couldn't remember Infiltration. I was going to say Intraction, and I was like, that's not right. That's not at all.
I was with you.
I think that's a word.
I had Extraction, but it was lost to me.
Yeah.
Infiltration.
Infiltrate, man. They go hand in hand, too, which doesn't like that. That's regardless. I'm Colton Robertson, and I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And we've just got another bank. Like the Bad Batch, we've gotten to the point now. I think this was let's see, we had 16 episodes in season 1, 16 episodes in season 2. So next episode is the 40th episode of Bad Batch. And we've covered every single one. I think we're 39 for 39 right now.
Oh, like just episodes? You mean
they don't miss.
Yeah.
They don't miss.
Even the fillers are great. And
good
and comfortable and
even the stuff that we think at the time is filler ends up wrapping back around, and this was a good example. We got Singh in the mix from our trip to Raxus, I believe is his planet.
Yeah, and cool little team ups. Yeah, that are like it's not like team ups. It's just like, oh, this is the universe we're in, and they were involved with these people. Like chances are they're gonna cross paths again. They do. I don't know. It is really cool that with Star Wars you can just do that with a connected universe. I don't know, and I guess it's in just with the same show. I mean, these are brand new characters. So I mean, no, it is really really cool. And then I was thinking the wrong way. These clones, these names, like they were saying them as if I should know them, and I'm like, I feel really bad for not knowing these clones. And I'm like, so when in the Clone Wars did we know these people? I'm thinking backwards. I'm thinking like previously in the timeline, when did we know them? Because I'm like, when in the future would they pop up? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, and then I'm like, okay, I have no idea who these guys are. And then you text me like, oh yeah, no, these are just the Rex's crew and Rebels. And I'm like, oh, now that kind of hurt me a little bit inside. I felt a little bad. Yeah, I just didn't look the other way. It was just like a blind side completely.
Oh yeah, no, and I mean, like, what, you've watched Rebels once, right? Like, you haven't rewatched Rebels. Like, and they're in it for a few episodes, and what I love about the team creating the Bad Batch is they seem to have their hand on the pulse. Like, this is a true sequel series to the Clone Wars, and like the spirit that the clone specific arcs had, like that was like, because there's something to be said about the Clone Wars where the screen time, like the amount of people that have a certain, like the top 3 people with the most screen time in the Clone Wars were Ahsoka, Anakin, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. And a lot of people, and like, you love that. You love that. But one could argue that in the Clone Wars, there's a chance that the clones should be on screen a lot. So it's nice to see them kind of, I mean, we got nothing but clones all the time on screen here, and it's super fucking enjoyable. We're getting a few pull throughs, like with Gregor and Wolf, having been the Rebels crew with Rex later on, and it was cool to see Wolf in the position he's in, and kind of
we're getting
how he's obviously going to evolve.
We're gonna see what's the process,
the trajectory,
or like his transformation, his like a revolution. I don't know, his moment of
the way
revelation.
He evolves, like because he's I also love that whenever he gets there and there are clones lying dead, he's like, these aren't insurgents, these are clones. Like, he's loyal to the Empire because he's loyal to the Empire. He hasn't witnessed the evils done unto people via the Empire, clearly.
That's what Crosshair even said. He was like, loyalty just meant a lot to me. I was loyal to the Empire. Then I found out that they might not be so nice, and I'm pretty disposable to them, and they don't care about me.
We're loyal to him. Yeah, like that's...
So, I mean, yeah, I think, like, it's crazy, like, how I don't know, the themes that they're just tackling in the show, like, are just, it's so... in this moment, like, this crucial moment in Star Wars history as well, where, like, the Empire is on the rise, so it's kind of sad to know that, like, well, I guess, like, the rebellion is about, like, I guess, like, it's about, like, to freaking, I don't know, it's just, like, weird knowing that, like, we don't see a lot of them, so I'm either of the mind that they're on Pabu, or they don't make it out of this, which is, like, I'd rather them just be on Pabu, because...
Oh, of course.
I mean, maybe that's not the only two options we got. I mean, the universe is very, very big, so... or the galaxy, I guess, in Star Wars.
Yeah. And the rebellion is very, very big, you know, like, it's always just, like, we haven't seen these characters because they weren't created until 2020.
True. Yeah, just because like, we haven't seen them before doesn't mean that they
don't exist.
They have to die.
You know,
yeah.
Like, there are certain spots where I feel they are written into a corner. One of those being that Echo is clearly, like, best buds with Rex. Like, that's his homeboy. He left during this episode to go pick up Gregor. That's like what he was doing. And then he comes back and they got Wolf there. They've got Rex there. They got Gregor there, and Echo is along for the ride. Echo, I mean, he's gonna fucking die,
dude,
which sucks.
I'm like, I was trying to hold on to any thread, just any amount of hope for this guy, and I think you're just right. Like, your case is becoming more and more proven. There's just kind of after he gave that blaster to Omega, or that crossbow gun thing,
I thought we might lose him by the end of the 2-episode arc when he did that. I was like, as soon as he gave her, he's like, I got this for you, kid. And you're like, fuck, he's done. Yep. You know, like, and I think the writing's on the wall for him. You know, I don't think he lasts to the end of the season.
Do you think you got it? Do you think Darth Vader is the one who does him in, though? Or who's...
I think it would...
if he goes...
I'm 50-50 on that. You know, like, because... it would, like, just where we are in the timeline, it would make sense that Vader would be involved in the trying to take down of the Bad Batch, given that Hemlock has now been given full reign, full resources. If they can get Omega, they're going to get Omega, and it seems like one person they pretty reliably have that can kind of get anybody.
Yeah, it seems that we're getting into the Bounty Hunters Guild a little bit. And like the kings, or like the kings and queens of the Bounty Hunters Guild, I'd say right now we got Boba Fett. Well, Boba Fett's not really that old, so not yet.
He's Omega's age.
But right now, Cad Bane and Fennec Shand, I guess. Is Fennec? Yeah, Fennec's in the game. She's in the game.
Yeah, she was in seasons 1 and 2. You know, like she's been around.
Like that's kind of who we got around. But then, like, they don't really stack up against Darth Vader is the thing, though. It's like, if they fail, the only person you can go to beyond them, it was Jango Fett, you know, and that, I don't know, whole you know, space opera broke out from that, you know, guy, that strain cast, but yeah, now, I don't know. I think there is actually a big possibility of him popping up, but I think it'd be later in the game, though.
It would be a late season thing, late in the season thing, if Vader were to show up, and so that's why I'm like, every single player left, specifically on the batch, none of them are going to go suddenly. I mean, it'll be sudden because it'll be like, we'll start the episode not really with the impression somebody's going to die this week, but it's like, they've all earned a moment. Like,
definitely, if they are going to die, 100%, it's going to be earned some, like, I don't know. That's the thing, is that I was thinking of, like, if someone does die, who's gonna kill them? But then I thought, like, it might not be a person. It might be a tech situation where no one directly killed him. Like,
No.
the Empire at large, I guess, if you want to blame someone. But yeah, I think maybe that's the situation Echo goes, is like, maybe there's a situation where he's saving Rex and his crew as well as the batch, and everyone. And he's like, man, I don't know.
He's the one with the techie, instruments. Like, they've got to escape somewhere. He's got to close all the doors. And the way he can do that is if he's locked in somewhere and he's like, go, go, go. And the ship, something blows up. He's dead. Like, there's all sorts of stuff they could do. So the only reason I thought the Vader killing Echo thing would be a cool idea is because of the fact that Anakin led him to the Bad Batch. They saved him on Skeko Minor. They brought him in. He would die at the hands of Vader with the batch there. Like, I feel like that makes sense. I think it's a cool mirror. And Star Wars is always, George Lucas quote where it's like poetry. Like that whole thing.
It rhymes.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
This guy. But yeah, no, I think maybe you're just smarter than the writers are, I think that's what should happen. That's the thing. Like, you're laying it out too cleanly. Like, that's the thing. It works too well. And I don't know. I think if they don't, it's not like a missed opportunity, but kind of a little bit.
I mean, like, it's definitely, like, I think it would make sense, but, like, I have full faith in Jennifer Corbett and Brad Rao that if they are going to kill off a character, like, we saw what happened with Tech. Nobody could have possibly thought that up. Like, that wasn't something we were all like, well, obviously Saw Gerrera is going to interrupt their fucking plans and it's going to be a problem and it's going to go to shit. And then Tech's going to fall from a very tall height and die.
Oh my God, it was Saw. I forgot about that. I went through a big phase of hating the hell out of Saw Gerrera for a little bit. I think I'm back. I think I'm cool. Accidents happen.
It's not Saw's. It's not Saw's fault.
I think I'm cool with Saw now. Still, a little bit of a grudge.
There's a bitter there,
Yeah, it's
but nobody's friends with Saw, like, nobody.
That's true.
Like, that's just kind of like, that's just Saw Gerrera.
Even I think Luthen is like the closest he's got to a friend, and that's saying something. They are not.
I mean,
friends,
Gail Urso.
Oh, okay. Actually, fair enough. Yeah, Jin is like actually.
Well, in case I die, Jin could. You could raise Jin. That's pretty trusting.
Yeah, I guess fair enough.
Galen Urso. I guess Gail Urso.
Present friend that we see at the time, I guess, is what I was going for. But man, okay, yeah, I think Echo is pretty. Like, this is the final season of Bad Batch. He gave Omega that gun.
I mean, he's been in Star Wars. Like, he's one of the originals. Like, he's one of the original clones. It was him, and like, Rex was obviously introduced sooner, but like the first arc with clones, he was there. That's he's one of the core
arc. Him, like, is it kind of centered around him a little bit?
What
like
was that?
The inhibitor chip arc in Clone Wars. I remember, like, it was at Kamino. Oh, that was
Fives and Jesse were very, very crucial to the
wasn't Echo
the inhibitor chip. But I think, like, I need to rewatch Clone Wars, and I also don't know, like, it's obviously an anthology, so I don't know what happens before anything else. But I feel like he might have been presumed dead by the time the inhibitor chip arc even happened, because when they find him on Skeko Minor, it's like, holy shit, Echo's alive. It's like they thought Echo was dead.
But this dude's been through he just deserves Pabu, at this point. Like, I don't know, maybe someone just comes up to him and they're like, you know what, dude? No, you will fight till the day you die, and we love you for that. But, like, you gotta retire, man. Like, like, you've done too much. You've paid too much. Like, just go to bed. Like, eat some food. And
maybe it looks like we're about to lose somebody from the batch at the hands of Vader. But we get the first official Vader versus Ventress fight. And that's part of the trailer that we're seeing, is Asajj is holding it down for the batch.
They need someone, cool. Yeah, it's like, obviously, if it's the batch versus Vader, they got to do some very strategic things.
One of them is going to die if it's
that, the batch. The plan is to escape. The plan is not to fight Vader. The plan, it's like the video games, you know, whenever Vader pops up, the health bar isn't even there. It's just his name, you know. It's just
you're not killing this guy.
You're not going to win. So it's like, okay.
You're trying to hold him off as long as you can.
No, plan A, not die. Plan B, escape. It's kind of in that order. So you're just going. But yeah, if Ventress is there though, the tides are turned. That would be very, very interesting. And then I like that. I like them meeting in that case, because then Ventress would probably show up because she knows Omega is such a valuable target. And then if Quinlan and her are like a thing, and the path is, you know, cooking right now, Omega would be probably target number 1 as well for the path, to protect her, and hide her. So yeah, I think that'd be a super cool crossover there. I wonder when that would go down. Because maybe, do you think that's the end, you know? Do you think that's Omega's end? Is that the path kind of gets a hold of her and she has to actually say goodbye to the batch, you know, and be like, I have to go if I want to be truly safe? Or is there some situation where, Hunter and her go off, or Crosshair, you know, someone sticks with her, or... She's mimicking Crosshair a whole lot. Dude, it's kind of...
They had some great moments. But it's reminiscent of the first couple episodes with Hunter, you know, whenever she was imitating him and putting her hand on her chin and stuff. You know, it's all that. But whenever Crosshair's like, "Are you good? Are you okay? Is everything all right? Is there anything I can do?" And she's like, "You're worse than Hunter." And he's like, "Oh, so much worse." You know, I love that. That was fucking precious. We're officially getting Dad Crosshair, and it's wonderful. I love it. And that's why ultimately I think there would come a time, we're getting further and further and further into the camp, that I think that if any members of the batch live through this, I would obviously, I'm going worst case scenario. I'd prefer that they all live, and I think I'm hesitant on whether or not the show will commit to such a dark ending. It hasn't been a particularly light show.
The finale was... One finale is Camino getting absolutely bombarded for, you know, just gone. We see it obliterated, and they're down there at the time. They have to escape that. It's terrifying. And yeah, I don't know. I'd say we could... No, never mind. I was about to say something. No, it will not happen. I was going to say another aerial bombardment, but somewhere else. No, I'm not even going to say it out loud, because it won't happen.
Okay.
And it is...
Yeah, you're worried about Pabu now.
It's safe. It is...
Pabu is the place that I think is actually kind of off the table. I know they presented it, and it feels like that would be the easy target, as we're getting to them, you know? That feels so fucking
shit. That feels kind of realistic now.
I don't put it past the Empire. I think the Empire is fully capable of it. It's just a matter, that's why I'm like, I don't know.
Come back into play, dude. How does Pabu has to come back somehow, or Fee? Because I don't know. I'm pretty sure I saw Fee in the trailer. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, Fee is in the trailer. She is in season 3.
Yeah, piloting or something like that. Kind of, I don't know. Seeming they're doing something with Fee, and she's got to get roped in somehow. Asajj's got to get roped in. Cad Bane, all these bounty hunters. I
mean, it could be we could be looking at a season 2 finale of The Mandalorian sort of thing, you know. That's what we're building to. Ooh, is that
who's our savior? You know, is Asajj the savior? You know, is that the big?
I think your idea of the path, that's a good idea. I didn't mean so much the savior, but that episode culminates in Cara Dune and Bo-Katan and Cosca Reeves and Axel Woves and all Fennec Shand, everybody who has been on the team is there for that episode. You know, like, so
and they
I
have
think we
to
could
say
be
goodbye.
building.
Like,
Yeah,
I think.
Like,
oh fuck, Omega just. She has a high M count. She might just be a fucking Jedi, you know, and they're just like, we need, like, it's not even protection. It's just like, well, one, we will protect you, but two, we can also train you in the way, you know, in the ways of the Force, and like actually get you going. And man, what the fuck? Where is she? You know, because if she does get taken by the Path, then she does get trained by Asajj Ventress and Quinlan Voss. Like, the fuck? Where? How can they, you know, I guess it'd be in the new Rey timeline, but then does that even work? Is that way too long, like, in the future?
I mean, Omega would be a middle-aged woman come then. Like, it's not like it's too long in the future. Like, she'd be older than Rey, for sure. But so my thing is that, like, I don't think the Path is serving a purpose that is like, we're gonna train you in the ways of the Force. They're fucking hiding you, and they're telling you like, they're like, lay low. We've got a place for you where you can. It's witness protection for Jedi. Is what the Path is. You know, like, they're like, go here, lay the fuck down. You stay there, and you're good. Like, so, that's why I could see one person from the batch going with her. Dude, you know,
I'm pretty sure we're getting Grogu. Like, if we get the Path, I think like the safe haven. It's just like a little meetup. It's just like a little room of like little, you know, young Jedi. I don't know, and it's just freaking Grogu, Omega. I don't think
that's tactical. That's like, you mean like, that'd be stupid of the Path.
You're right.
To have everybody in one spot.
But it's there. We saw Grogu get saved. You know, Keller and Beck, bad at, like, I think they kind of
Keller
and
Beck, I think he would probably be a part of the Path. They're probably building towards that.
Yeah. We get Quinlan, Kelleran, Asajj. And then whoever else is up in there, who knows? I could see like Maz Kanata being like, not like super connected, but like, oh yeah, you can use my shit, you know, for you know, an underground railroad sort of. I don't know. She's got connections. I would just love to get more Maz Kanata anything. I don't know. She's just really cool to me. But
I love Maz Kanata.
I think that's all the random characters I can try to bring in right now.
I'm like, because there's a lot of angles here. Like, I loved the return of Ryo Chuchi. I enjoy Ryo Chuchi a lot. The senator, I think she's a great character. And, you know, when she was in earlier episodes, like the earlier arcs and like introducing the Shadow Troopers, also like that, she's got a little bit of the Padme spirit in her, and I really, really love that. Already making mention, like, we're a year and a half to 2 years after the fall of the Republic, and canonically, the rebellion will not reveal itself for 13 years.
Holy shit, that's actually kind of nuts. They're behind the scenes for that long.
Well, and like, who knows, like, and that's the thing, is that what I love about the freedom of this timeline, like this. And there are a lot of people who are staunchly like, we're getting so much between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. Maybe we move on. And I get that. Andor kind of locks them into a certain thing where they literally cannot do anything bigger than the sort of, like, they can't even go as big as they did on Aldhani. Aldhani's like that's like an announcement. That's like, we're here, you know, like, so they can't even go that big as a rebellion.
I see what you mean. Okay.
Which then is that worrying for Ryo Chuchi? You know, like, is Ryo Chuchi gonna die? Is that the sort? Because there's bound to be political assassinations.
Oh fuck yeah, she's not in that circle at all. I guess like we don't see her.
And that's the thing, is that we don't know. She could be. That's like, and there's different factions of it as well. Because Mon Mothma is working with Luthen, but we also know separately that Bail and Bria Organa are starting their own little rebellion cell.
Okay.
Like, they're small, like, it's a thing Nemec says in their there are small acts of rebellion all over the galaxy every day. Like that's every single one of those is a win.
Okay. And I think it's kind of like a path thing as well, where it's like it wouldn't be smart for all of them to interact with each other in real life. Like it would be smart to keep separate, and they probably have.
And there's a chance none of them even know about each other. Like they are doing their own little rebellion, you know. Because that's what Senator Singh brings up. He's like, without a unifying leader, I don't know. Like, are we going to be able to do this sort of thing? You know, like I don't see that being feasible. And it's because they don't have a unifying leader for a little over a decade from now. You know, like that's
wow. Yeah, so it is. I don't know. We have a lot of wide open time, I guess, you know, like there is a lot of time for things to happen. And who knows with Ahsoka if we're going to a whole different galaxy. You know, if that's like an option now, which is kind of crazy. I don't see how their storyline would really connect with that at all.
No, I don't either. I think it would mostly be
it's just
Night Sister magic sort of stuff, if anything. Like it would be weird bullshit that I think would come up.
Because I remember hearing like an early review of people saying that this season just combines everything. Like it connects everything together. And they're you know, we're obviously in the time period of that, but how would it connect to Ahsoka in that time, the Mando time?
Probably
maybe
just the cloning.
Maybe, yeah, or just, you know, the path, I guess. That's Obi-Wan time, though. I guess that's still not
and that's
like Mando
like
time.
7 years away, 8 years away. So, like, I'm the cloning stuff. It's just got to be the cloning stuff. That's the stuff that makes sense. That's stuff that would connect the sequel trilogy with the clone of Palpatine.
It's just Palpatine.
Like,
it's just
like
making more sense of how Palpatine returned and making everyone that hates the fact that he did a little more happy with it, I guess, is maybe their plan.
And the hopeful thing in that regard is that logically feels like Omega is the key to their success.
And Palpatine does return.
And I don't think that, but not for a really long fucking time. I think they you know, like it's a ways down the line.
Yeah. And obviously he doesn't really return in the way he maybe wanted to. Like maybe like it actually doesn't go well for him, and this is like a last ditch, like this is just he has to do it because if like his body is fucked at that time.
He
like
can't
he's
fucking move. He's carried around on a goddamn fucking crane, you know, like
he's barren, like in Dune, like, but not floating. It's the only difference.
Like so I don't think that it's, and I hate to like logic my way in and out of story like that. Like I think it bodes well for Omega, which means it probably doesn't bode well for everybody else. Like that's my other thing is that like there's still going to be stakes and like massive stakes. So let's refine this a little bit to theory specifically regarding this episode. Where are you thinking there's a little too much imagery with the second Shadow Trooper introduced in this episode that is they're obviously hiding who that is, and I don't know if it's a red herring. You know, it could be that they're just like, we know you think this might be tech, you know, because they're self-aware as all shit, you know, like they know what people are thinking, mostly because all of them fucking interact with what people are thinking online. So like they're well aware that everyone might be going, is this tech?
This dude's something is going on. Like at the least, I think there is some connection between him and Crosshair. You know, like there's something that happened at Tantus that Crosshair does not want the people to know. And because like that's whenever that room opens, or no, I guess that's a different guy. I'm always getting the Shadow clones confused. But I guess they all went through the same training program or whatever, and then the ones who just didn't make it, and the ones who came out, he just came out different or whatever. But so maybe he went through training with all of these guys at the same, because Crosshair, he walks into the room where the Shadow clone or Trooper is, and he's like, "Nope, we gotta go." He's like, that's like the first thing out of his mouth, right? Like he doesn't even. He just sees him and is like, "We gotta go." Like, why?
Yeah.
Is it we are in danger, like the Empire is going to be here? Is that the only reason he wants to go? Or is it like he knows me? Like there's like something can actually come out here that I don't that it's not truly bad on his part, but it would look bad and maybe make Rex and who's the other guy that already kind of really hates him?
Hauser.
Like Hauser hates Crosshair right now, and if anything is like thrown to
not
fuel
by
that,
the end of the episode.
True. Okay, but say that this new Shadow Trooper drops whatever, say there is some tea that happened at Tantus, and he does drop it. Does this guy like, oh no, see, I was right, sort of thing? Like my
maybe
my intuitions were. Yeah,
I don't know. I've kind of fled the boat on Crosshair having any, like, I think all the dirt on Crosshair we know about. I don't think there's anything that we don't know about Crosshair.
Because
I think that it was legitimately like he knows how these guys are trained. He knows apparently something about the tracking system Hemlock has, because it's the fact that he is alive, I think, that makes him go, oh, we need to go. Like there's some biological, like it's probably I don't know what the tracking system is.
Yeah, that is interesting. How, because they say if he was dead, that it wouldn't just be off. It would be like destroyed. So I think like the idea is the capsule just goes off and it just like fries whatever sensor it is, because it fries your whole body. So it's like, yeah, the sensor's done, so he's dead, and whatever. They know. But it is, yeah, they got something in there that their sensors can't detect. Like Hemlock is just, it was like obvious. It was like Hemlock's smarter than that. Obviously he's like bypassing your sensors or whatever. So that's
right.
That's interesting that he can do that. And I don't know. I had a thought that we're seeing the very early goings of the Bounty Hunters Guild and what we see in Mando, with the like tracking fobs and the pucks, and that like maybe the tracking is like actual through DNA or something, and Hemlock has some way to track people, and like that's how
like DNA signature.
Yeah, and then like eventually it's just like the Empire has that technology, and then the Bounty Hunters Guild is gets it too, and everything. So I think that could be pretty cool.
Yeah, that technology was always interesting. The tracking fob, like how that works, because all they had on Grogu was like that he was 50 years old, and they were like, "Go find him. Here's a tracking fob," and it was like bloop, bloop,
M
bloop,
count.
and could be an M count detector, but
it's not always force sensitives. Like
no, he
Fennec
uses it
is on Fennec, and like Fennec is tracked. Even like Mando
he uses
is tracked.
It in the first. He uses it in the first episode. The first thing we see is on that fucking blue guy.
Everybody. Yeah, you can track anybody. So it's probably, I don't know.
I mean,
a DNA thing. But
that's what's interesting is like I don't know what the technology is. It is not a stretch to say that Hemlock developed it, though. Like I think that makes sense. With all the testing and stuff they're doing.
I see DNA because like I'd say if you have a chain code, then like the Empire has your DNA. They just do somehow. I don't know. Maybe you got to take a blood test or spit in a tube. I don't know. Star Wars, they could probably just get it off a scan. And then somehow, some way, they're just like, yep, all right, we need this person. Yep, they have a chain code. We have their DNA. Track them. They're right here. I don't know. It's just sort of thing. But it's interesting because they have like a general location, but not like the precise location. It's just kind of like, well, they're on this planet and they'll be somewhere within this radius, sort of thing. And maybe they won't get that technical with them, like I'm kind of,
I don't think they will. I'm not counting on answers for how the fuck they track people. That like you texted me about it and I was like, oh shit, yeah, that didn't even really occur to me. Like that's one of those things that in Star Wars, I think they're just kind of like,
they can just do. It's just
we can just do that, you know. Now I don't think it's a stretch to say that Hemlock, like they're obviously saying that Hemlock's developed something specific, but I don't know if that applies to everybody or the people he's had a chance to test on, because the other thing is that even Crosshair and Omega aren't being tracked the same way. It's a surprise that Omega's there. You know, like the Shadow Trooper sees Omega and he's like, "Oh fuck, I've got her. She's here too." You know, like
oh, was this Shadow Trooper like? Are they clones before and then they're taken and then just like put through a ringer and they come out? They're not like made and then like born and accelerated and then, you know, like,
I don't think so. I don't think that's the way that, like, the way Crosshair explains it. I think it's what Crosshair went through. Like, he says that being defective has always been a part of my personality. You know, like, it didn't work on him.
The training, the things we were seeing him do every day
was what everyone was doing.
So, okay, well, never mind. I was going to say if Tech is one of them, you know, if one of them is Tech, they all are going to be in those cells down there or whatever. Omega would obviously recognize Tech, but Hemlock, knowing this, would probably put Tech down.
I had that same thought. I was like, how would they not have ran into Tech? It's like, well, Hemlock would have made sure they didn't run into Tech. Like, it's like, it's just...
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is that, like, I'm in a place with the Tech lives theory, where I'm okay with it depending on what happens after it's revealed to be Tech. If it's revealed to be Tech, he needs a happy ending.
But how? I think like it's only sad. I think if it's revealed to be Tech, it's like we have to like put him down. Like there's no... Like what Hemlock did is like because he would have to be like resurrected for one, or maybe he lived. I don't know, but like
no, like that's my thing, is that like
no way he lived,
like, and again,
man, you know,
no, like, like and that's my thing, is that if he did live to make it seem to us that he died, and to make us mourn Tech, and then to bring him back just to kill him again, would feel like it would depend on how they did it. It would depend on how they did it. I have faith they could do it good. I just don't think they should. You know, like I think that it was a great sacrifice play. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, like, it makes a lot of sense going this direction.
Oh,
what's up?
They have the goggles. If Tech is like lost and he's like, you know, just pure Empire killing machine, they put the goggles on him, they repair him, whatever, get new lenses so they're not cracked, and then he watches his old memories, and he literally like he remembers himself,
wakes up,
like, oh my god, if that happens, I swear to God, that I will be okay.
We've also banked a lot on the idea that Tech was recording things at all.
100% though. That red light, it turns on and off, dude. It's on in certain situations, it's off in other ones, and it's only on in the important ones. It's only on like cutely, like it's in cute moments that you would want to record. Tech is I'm fully on board with the recording shit.
I'm cool with that. Is there any chance you're projecting that idea on
100%? Yeah, okay. No, 100%. I'm just really hoping it happens because, like, why would they still have those goggles? You know, it is sentimental, obviously. Like, it is like they are Tech's goggles. If there's one thing that identifies him of his kit, it's his goggles. So that, you know, it could just be that. But man, I would really love if their memories could just be stored right there, and we get like the Tech turn, we get like, I don't know, just like early like with the batch, like when, like the I don't know, just it'd be so perfect, and maybe like it'd be a way where if he is gone and like he is gone for good, we can still have some like flashbacks and like remember and a happier ending than not. But
no, like I'm not opposed to the theory at all by any stretch of the imagination. I think it's a great idea, and that is one thing that I think would be a missed opportunity. I think it is a great idea that perhaps Tech did something like that, and it would be a fun thing to kind of stumble upon. You know, I don't think they would know.
He's like socially awkward, you know, and I think like he would record things and then like kind of watch them over, or like, you know what I mean, like he would, or it's like he's in, yes, like I think either study them or like no one knows he's recording, sort of thing, because it would be too embarrassing for it if anyone knew that, you know. So, like, I don't know. I feel like it would have to be like a hidden thing that he only does on his own.
I don't think they would know that. But, yeah, like,
man, I don't know.
And I think it tracks for him. You know, he's very meticulous. He's data based, and if he can study what they've done, he can refine what they do, and it makes sense. You know,
yes.
They might be of the mind that he only records missions.
Okay, yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like,
maybe that's how it started. Is like it was like film with like sports teams or whatever. After some practice or after a mission, they're like, all right, let's see what we could do better, boys.
Exactly.
But now,
they have to have developed those plans somehow. You know, like it's not like they were
got
like
99 of them at least. Yeah. They do got plans on deck. Yeah, I don't. This is, I guess, next episode we got bad territory. So it's not sounding good.
No, not great.
Not good at all.
I love the idea.
Yeah, the bad territory into the Harbinger. Harbinger?
The Harbinger, yeah. It's typically not a good word either.
It's like
typically accompanied by of death. After,
yeah, like it's usually like a hellbringer or like a right, like that's kind of a synonym with that word. Like
I think so. That like as far as my understanding,
a big force that's come. Like it's like a big menacing force. The Harbinger is that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's a thing that announces the arrival of something. It's like the
Oh.
Harbinger of blank. You know, like so. Usually, it's not typically used in a positive connotation because it is such a. I mean, like Harbinger. It sounds bad. It sounds worse than it actually just by itself means.
So it's your introduce, like it's like would Darth Vader be the harbinger of the Emperor, sort of thing?
Could
like,
be,
or
could
no?
be. He could be the harbinger of death himself. Like
the carrier, the brain. Like so, it's kind of like the.
We could also be dealing with like you know, the harbinger of hope. You know, you never know. Like that's it's to not put an of. It's just the harbinger.
Okay. Yeah, it's not looking good in the future, at least. And that kind of tracks, though. Sadly, like we have to have Cad Bane, Fennec Shan pop up. Things are going to get bad. Omega's going to be tracked.
One episode. Like next episode is the halfway point.
Maybe. Well, actually, yes. I mean, actually, it would be the exact halfway point. Actually, next episode. It is awful strange. I don't know. It you know, and I'm not going to believe in it. And this is going to be the time that it actually happens. The time that I'm not going to believe in the secret episode is the time that's actually going to happen. But yes, we will hit over halfway next week. So that is kind of nuts. The 3 episodes and then 2. You're getting 5 episodes in 2 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah, like I guess that is kind of nuts. That did help.
Weeks. We got 4 and 5, yeah.
That did help a lot. But then now we're just 1-1. I guess. Oh no, we do got 2 again. 10 and 11. So just 2 more weeks and then another double up. So
15 and 15 to double up.
I don't have it as one. It might be.
Okay.
But I have 6 and 7 and 10 and 11 as the doubles.
Yeah, it looks like 14 and 15 are not a double.
So it looks like
we've got bad territory next week, the Harbinger the week after, Identity Crisis on episode 10, Point of No Return on 11.
Yeah, Identity Crisis. That one I feel like is like either Crosshair, Omega. I feel like it's about Omega. And I feel like she's been lied to about who she is. She is not the Strand cast from Jango Fett. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe she's just not at all who they have been saying, because if it was known who she was in the first place, then Palpatine would have just already been like, oh, well, yeah, give me her. sort of thing. So like I don't know, maybe that is a possibility. I don't want to throw that off the board. So like I think like Omega being like Palpatine wanted a force sensitive clone. Kamino did it with Omega. They just did it because they're that good at what they do. The Empire then destroys Kamino. Everything that they actually need to do and make Omega, they don't have any longer. So like Omega is impossible. It's a kind of a perfect she exists and no others like her can exist any longer. So I think like it'd be pretty cool if she was actually just like Kamino had their Project Necromancer, but it wasn't even Project Necromancer. It was just, let's see if we can make a force sensitive clone. And they did. And I guess like if it is a clone, does she mimic any, a younger version of any Jedi that we know? A female Australian accented Jedi, some High Republic. Is that possible? Like some old ass DNA?
It's
maybe
possible, but I think the challenge of Omega, like the challenge of creating a force sensitive clone, is cultivating the force in a being that doesn't naturally have the force. Like I don't think they would have I believe they would have.
You don't think that was their goal? Their goal wasn't to make a force sensitive clone. It was just
I think that if their goal was to make a force sensitive clone, I'm not strictly betting on them having cloned a Jedi to do it. Like
that they just have some other Kaminoan ways of
like they're trying like, and that would be why they created her as a female in DNA, so that they could hide her. Like even the Batch didn't know she was a clone aside from Tech. Like Tech was obviously analytical enough to be like, well, she's obviously a clone. And they're like, wait, what the fuck? Like that's they have her there so they could hide her. That's why she works so close with Nala Se, is so that they can keep an eye on her and nobody thinks, oh, well, obviously she's a clone. They have an army of millions of dudes.
I might be going off the deep end here a little bit, but I'm going a little too logical. But like we've always thought that the clone army, it is Jango Fett, and it's just a clone, just strand cast of Jango Fett. That's it. We just cloned him, only him. But like they kind of are grown in like a synthetic womb, And like, is it that far out there to be like, well, you kind of need a female donor as well to even start the birthing process, So like, is it possible that they reveal that the entire clone army is not just Jango Fett, but also, maybe the female it's just the womb. There's like, I don't know, like and all the attributes are taken from the male. I don't know, sort of thing. But like, maybe they need a female donor, and Omega is that female donor, or like
the clone of that female donor. Like they took the female.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be quite the reveal, Like there's also the fact that, like on Kamino, like I guess it is but you said it's synthetic. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
like
it probably is just Jango Fett, and they just and baby born.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like I
don't take it to be natural in any capacity.
No,
I don't think they observe the laws of biology.
Yeah, and I don't think they're gonna get that specific, and they have to do it within these last in the half of the season. So I don't it's not gonna get that complicated. It's gonna be Omega. Obviously, she's the center point of everything.
Oh yeah, and I'd be willing to bet that she, I've been kind of back and forth in these weeks about whether or not she was a fluke or if she was intentional. And I think if she was intentional, the reason she's a girl is to hide that she is force sensitive, and to hide that she is a force sensitive clone. She's not easily identifiable as a clone. She can roll anywhere, and nobody's going to be like,
and
well, you look like the people who fought in the Army of the Republic.
Yeah,
you know,
another
like,
F you to the Empire, being like, you're just misogynistic and like you don't care about women, so like you wouldn't think of her as special. And like Palpatine wouldn't want to put himself in a woman's body. You know, to him that would be like, you know, I'd rather die. You know, I think like for Palpatine, knowing that guy, but
fine with Rey.
I guess true. So that maybe that's not a thing. But they seem. I guess.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them, but
yeah, I guess there are like women, like in Andor. What's her name? Blonde girl.
Deidre.
Deidre. There it is. I was getting there. But so there are. I guess I don't know. There are women, but she wasn't like, you know. They had that whole thing of like, oh, it's a woman in the workplace. You're like, not anything. Like, so like there is something there.
Is like they're speciesist, and I'd be willing to bet that they're like the Empire is everything bad. So
true. Yeah. And yeah, but so yeah, I'm just gonna stick with that. I don't have to defend them in any way. I don't know why I'm like trying to backpedal on the Empire.
No, I mean, like, no, and I it's because we're existing in a galaxy that's so beyond reality that, you know, that's one of the things I love about the High Republic book series is that it's obviously evolved a great deal in the time, like 1977 versus like there's not a single black person in A New Hope. Not a single one, you know. Then they introduce Billy D, and they're like, "That's enough," you know. So like, that's a good example of just like how much for such a fantastical and the way that it's evolved. You know, like they don't observe a gender binary, they don't observe a sexual binary. Like it's just you love who you love, and you are who you are, and if you say that's the case, that's the case. So like, and that's one of the things I absolutely adore about the High Republic.
How's that not just like an actual?
It blows my mind, man.
Like real life thought, you know, like that should.
Like, how is that not just like, people can do what they want and be who they want. Holy shit! Hold the phone.
It seems that if we want super evolved civilization and all just to be kind and live with each other, that like that's the thing that has to happen. And it is all fiction. It's not like that this is where it will go, like where we will go. But no, I think that's what it is all about. You know, it is to eventually get to there. It is entertainment at first, but then it's to, you know, instill values and all that stuff for the kids, all that, while just in the subconscious without them realizing it. But
yeah, no, and it's like so. But that's to say that like I to circle back on the Empire being misogynist, I wouldn't put it past them. I think we've seen enough evidence that that's certainly the case.
Okay. I think if the voice of that clone, man, it's too it might be a little red herring, you know, like it's like I'm listening to it, I'm closing my eyes and I'm like, man, I really hear Tech, or like I really hear Crosshair. Like version. It sounds just like an evil version of Tech, dude. And like, because Tech, like, I don't know, the evil version of Tech, like the most evil version or evil person that Tech knows would probably be Crosshair. And like, he's got an evil sounding voice. So like Tech impersonating Crosshair is like, that's exactly what it sounds like to me. And
well, I mean, like it could just be Tech wiped to a clean slate, you know, like it could just be. And I mean, we're hearing like there's a voice distorter in the mask. Like it is doing this on top of the already quite raspy voice that you obviously are hearing coming through.
Dude, dude. I don't want to put all the eggs in the basket, you know, like that it is him and be ready for it. But
this is the episode that grants that idea. These are the episodes that grants that idea more credence than it's had since the premiere. Like, I mean, it's the fact that they are so heavily indicating that he is someone of importance. You know, Crosshair's helmet flies off when they fall down that fucking hill, or when they fall down the waterfall. This guy's doesn't. He crawls out. It's still on. You know,
the
like
fact that he lived through this. Like he could have just died in that waterfall, and like that could have been it. But the fact that he lived and we had that shot of him coming out, it's like, okay, clearly this is someone important. You know, like it. Maybe
like how far does it go back? Is it 5s? You know, is it somebody who we think died in Order 66, like one of those clones, or is it, you know, like there's all sorts of possibilities, and given the way that they are willing to call back to Clone Wars entities and other clones who might have been less front of mind, such as Tech, you know, like it's
wow,
you know, it could be anybody, and that's kind of the interesting thing. So like, I'm not putting all my eggs in the Tech basket. It does feel like it would be the most meaningful reveal if they were going to do one, because it would be kind of funny if they did a whole musical build up and then it was fucking fives. You know, like that'd be interesting.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, I mean, they got something's going on with Hemlock. Like those red canisters, I don't know. They're sucking the blood from some people, and I don't know. That's what I want to know. I hope we return to Tantus, and we get a little bit more there. That's like not what I want the most out of the show. Like what I want most out of the show is just the batch and like happy moments. But what I am most interested to find out, I guess what I need to know is whatever's going on at Tantus. I wish I could read Hemlock's diary sort of thing and just know everything that's going on down there. Ooh, Emery exists. I forgot about that. I guess they could just be lying that she's like the same, but if they're the same, why is her hair a different color? And like I don't know, they don't like actually look alike. Well, I guess like the Bad Batch are all different, but like I don't know, they don't really look like they're clones of each other, Emery and Omega.
Yeah, I mean, like I haven't really doubted that side of
the
things.
Voice is similar, you know, like
they've got a similar voice to her. Emery also has a last name, which is interesting. It's Emery Carr. Dr. Carr, I think, is what she's referred to.
Yeah, I feel like she's just kind of the opposite of Omega, the instilled you know, if Omega was with the Empire the whole time, this is who she would be, if she were to stay at Tantus for a long time. But yeah, I don't know. I think the rest of the season has not become clear to me, but I think like it's kind of easy to see like a lot of storylines that have to thread together. Obviously, like we're gonna get some Tantus stuff, but then we need some bounty hunter things. We need Cad Bane and Fennec Shan to pop up, and that's at least to me, Omega's the target. They're just trying to get Omega. I think that's kind of probably gonna be the rest of the season. Honestly, is just like on the run. Omega's priority number one for the Empire, and we're just on the run. And maybe Echo and Rex and all them, they use that as like, look at what the Empire's doing. Like this is they're using all of their resources to try to capture a single child. They are murdering planets. They are you know, like I don't know. Maybe that's used, and we get a little clone revolution sort of thing. One way out at Tantus. Is there a lot of clones there where we can have a breakout situation?
There could be. I would love to see it, you know, and that's the other thing, you know. I referenced the season 2 finale of The Mandalorian. You referenced One Way Out. How much do they fall back on previous tropes that have already been used? You know, is that something that they want to avoid? Because if so, they can't do stuff like that. You know, like that's and they could obviously do it in a new and fresh way. And as this entire show really has been, it's been new and fresh and original, and hasn't felt like it doesn't feel like anything else Star Wars besides the Clone Wars, and it's miles better than the Clone Wars. Like it's so much better than the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
So regardless, before we wrap it up with any last thoughts, I'm gonna do the plugs. If you would, head to patreon.com/PennyBloomPod, where you'll find over 50 hours of exclusive content, all sorts of book reviews, comic book reviews, movie reviews, and the like. For $3 a month, you can support the podcast financially, which is huge because it costs me money, and I don't make any off of it unless it's over there. Head to Twitter, follow at PennyBloomPod, follow on Instagram and TikTok at PennyBloomPodcast. You can watch us on YouTube now. I got all my little batchers on display. They're sitting on Star Wars books, and I got you can't see the whole vinyl over here, but I got the important part of the vinyl on display for Star Wars: A New Hope. I try to switch up the vibe every once in a while. I've got the Hunter headband on. I've got the bow and armorer ship shirt that says "Do you respect my station?" on. It's a little bit of it's a little bit of everything. So you can watch us there. Download episodes, leave 5-star rate and review. That is a huge help for us. But yeah, there's all sorts of stuff that this season will do. I think it's fascinating that Hunter and Wrecker have kind of been non-factors for the most part this season. I'm curious how much that changes the course of the back half of the season. The first season really keyed in on Hunter with like a Wrecker side story. I felt like they made it clear Hunter was dad, Wrecker was fun uncle. Season 2 was like Tech is really, really forming a relationship. Echo is going out on his own. Third season, Crosshair. Crosshair's forming that relationship with Omega. So they've hit everybody now. Everybody's gotten their time with Omega, I feel like. So it is interesting to see going forward what the back half of the season is like. And I'm not sure where that leaves us or where we're heading or where we're going particularly. The outline is strong. I think we've got just great stuff coming our way. But I could theorize all fucking day, and chances of being right are slim. It's
That's
just
true. Yeah, we did think that infiltration and extraction was like a Tantus operation or something, but it's literally just like we were at Rex's base and bounty hunter was sent. That was it. Yeah. We went on for I don't know how long of like, what could that mean? What could infiltration extraction mean? And you were right in the sense of like extraction. All that I know is that like usually that's bad and you need some saving and out and like help.
You need to get out.
And when Rex was like, we need extraction, I was like, oh damn, yeah, no, he was right.
I guess
like,
the only context in which you use that.
Yeah,
like it's
So I don't know.
I mean, that final scene was really fucking strong. I loved Gregor or Wolf being there and kind of being like, stand down. Like this ain't what we're about to do.
Yeah. Do the right thing. That's all I'm at.
Now,
just do the right.
Now
thing.
They have insiders.
I'm
pretty sure we watched those clone commandos march around Tantus.
They know where it is.
Some of them do. Wolf is clearly out of the loop.
But
which I don't know what that means. But those clone commando troopers have been there. Like they were marching them around.
I saw someone say that those are like the dumbest idea ever. Like, how would you even see through that? Like, it'd be like blinding light sort of thing. And I never thought about that until, I don't know. I thought it looks cool. Like
it looks gnarly
for costume design. I think that's the only reason that it's there. I don't think
I kind of take it to be like it's a specific like vision sort of thing that they're going for. Like it's like a form of heat vision, thermal, or something like that they're seeing through.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've gone with the whole way. But yeah, I didn't think that it was just lights inside of the helmet shining in their eyeballs. But okay, I didn't think about that. They do have some insiders now. And maybe some people who would know more. Yeah, some more information. Because, man, Tantus is a well-kept secret. That's for damn sure.
That's the thing is, like, if there is anything that Crosshair is hiding, he's really weird about the, like, not knowing where Tantus is. And he's insistent that he doesn't know.
Yeah.
And I believe that he doesn't know. He just launched into hyperspace, and then they crashed out.
It's not
saved, and,
yeah, it's not like I'm heading home from Starbucks and I remembered my way home. It's like, no, he went from like a solar system to another one, That's like, you can't, I don't know. And
he got out of there in a fucking hurry. He didn't have the coordinates for the place. He launched to a new place. That ship crashed. Even if it had history, it's gone. You don't have it anymore. So, like, that's the other thing is I don't think he's being secretive about that. I think he doesn't know where the fuck Tantus is.
Yeah, and he does go up to that dude and he's like, hey, whether you want to believe it or not, it's the truth, man. I don't know where the hell it is. He's like,
truth.
Yeah, it's just just what it is.
That is the way it is.
Yeah, I don't. I'd say that could be the only conflict. I'd say if there is something at Tantus that Crosshair, maybe in the training that they just do, they have to do something like they have to just kill people. I don't know. Maybe it's just something dark that the rest of the crew would be like, "Oh wow, you are not actually cool, dude. Like what the hell?" And he's like,
done things. Yeah.
And then he's like, "Well, I would have died. It's like it's me or them, and it's or whatever." And like, I could see that coming up, but I feel like he's kind of just back. Like he's.
I think he is. I've been kind of confident with that ever since he escaped. Like I don't think there's a shred of Crosshair left. I think when it comes to that episode 10 and 11, Identity Crisis, Point of No Return, I don't know who that is, but they have the Identity Crisis, episode 10, and then in 11, they choose their fucking side, Point of No Return. They choose who they are. So I don't know what that means. The fact that those are a tandem, I feel like that's the only thing that really can mean is, and I think that would make sense with tech. Like if
what if Identity Crisis? What if it's like the clone army at large? It's revealed to be something crazy, and the point of no return is like if this gets out, the Empire's done. Like it's over. Like it's like it scraps everything.
Yeah, we could have an Ezra Bridger at the end of season 1 of Rebels sort of message gets sent out and people watch it, and like that could be interesting. I would like that. But whatever's coming, I'm open to it. I'm down for it, and I'm excited. We got a lot to look forward to. These were a couple great episodes, beautiful animation,
great fight too. Like without a lightsaber. This wasn't a lightsaber fight, but it stacks up. Like at the end here, this waterfall, like it had meaning behind it too, and like could be a really cool reveal later if this guy turns out to be someone. If it is Tech, if it is someone we know, then it was Crosshair versus Tech, but not really Tech. So. Yeah, we'll figure it out. But man, what a freaking what a show, dude. Like for people to call this a kid show is just laughable at this point. It's like it's just grow up. You need to they're the kid. Like I think on if you're calling it a kid show, you're the child.
If you're not willing to watch it because it's a because it's a kid show.
Yes.
It is a kid show.
Yes, Star Wars at large is meant for kids, but to say that this is meant for little kids
in its entirety because it's animated is stupid.
Yes, thank you for clearing up because I was throwing out a blanket statement calling a bunch of people children there. So you are correct.
If you are dismissing this simply for the case that it is animated and you believe it is you believe it's not top tier Star Wars, you're missing out. You're missing out wholeheartedly. That's just the bottom line. Now, odds are if you are one of those people, you haven't made it this deep.
That's also fair. You're not listening to a podcast over the Bad Batch.
But you could, if you send this to your homies, this little clip, the homies that have been dismissive of the Bad Batch, because I got them. I got homies that are dismissive of the Bad Batch. Send this their way and be like, yeah, fuck you, you're missing out. Because you are. This is top tier, and I absolutely adore it. But yeah, with that, I think we will conclude this episode of Rebellion's Bloom, and we will be back next week with season 3, episode 8. And I am so very excited. But in the meantime, we will be continuing our Game of Thrones rewatch podcast, Winter is Blooming, on Monday with season 8, episode 2, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. We're getting to the build-up for the Battle of Winterfell, and it's a rewatch show, so if you haven't watched it, you shouldn't tune in. But if you have watched Game of Thrones, it's for you. I love doing the show. We're almost done, and it's been so much fun, so check that out. And then on Wednesdays, as of late, and into the future for a few weeks, we are doing our Dev Patel Actors Spotlight. Love that guy. Monkey Man reviews are coming in hard after its premiere at South by, and it's looking fucking great. I'm so very excited. We are deeply anticipating it with a series of 5 movies in anticipation starring Dev Patel. We've already covered The Last Airbender and Chappie, but we're hitting a new high next week on Wednesday with Lion. Strongly recommend you check out the movie and then you come back to the show and listen to our episode on it. It'll be a great time. So Dev Patel, Bad Batch, Game of Thrones. That's what we're on right now. We do plan on covering The Acolyte whenever that rolls around. That's still a couple months away. But yeah, we'll be rolling with Star Wars and Game of Thrones for several weeks to come. We might miss out a little bit. That'll be the gap. But June, we're back to Game of Thrones and Star Wars when House of the Dragon and The Acolyte get rolling. So I'm so very excited for it. And we love this franchise. We love this story. We love this universe. So we're going to keep covering it. But with that, I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, peace, love, and bloom, and always praise the Bad Batch.